do you sort of separate yourself from, because this happens not just in with writers, but in other areas too. Like, how do you separate your identity from the thing that you feel like is defining you, whether that be your writing project, your career, whatever it is that you're working on? What tips would you have for somebody who is struggling with something like that?
Right. What I know to be the most effective, and this is for me and also for other coaches I've seen trained over the past decade, the coaches who tend to do well with that have a larger meaning or purpose that goes beyond their identity. And so it's not about getting, when you're writing or creating a business, it's it's not about asking yourself, how does this business represent me? And how can myself be represented in this? Much more than how can I use me and my project, my book, my organization, my business, whatever it is, how can I use that in service of a larger mission? How can I be an instrument for this larger purpose? And when you look at yourself from that perspective and ask, what is this larger purpose asking from me? It doesn't become about you anymore. And that's lovely. That is freedom. That is motivation. That is an ability to do things that is really hard. And I was just thinking about that. Like last night and this morning, I was reflecting on just the sheer multitude of stuff that I have on my plate right now, and the amount of I don't know, what's a good word? A margin of error. It might not be large, like, so there are things that need to happen and they need to be on point and they need to be, in order for this, in order for the vision to come true. And it's remarkable to be in a space like that without without a larger purpose. Like I can't imagine being in a space like this without a larger purpose or vision in mind to come back to act as an anchor, to act as a foundation, to come back to that question: how can I be of best service to this larger idea or mission? And when people have that, then their specialty comes to life, their marketing comes to life, their mission comes to life, their the idea of, okay, if there's a setback, then the setback, how can I use this setback even to become stronger to further the mission? All of it just comes into play. And I think that having that that larger vision puts you into a perspective that I think is just really useful.
Yeah, I love what you're saying. I think that the other side of that coin too, to add to that, is, there is, I noticed with clients, both writing clients and coaches in classes, even, there's a lot of pressure that they put on themselves to sort of like find, like, what is my specialty? What is my passion? What is the thing that I'm going to do? And
Yeah.
I think it's really interesting. And I know that, my story is not everybody's story, but a lot of coaches recently have been talking about how eventually their specialty almost found them.
Mm-hmm.
And I know this is true for me, I know I've talked about this before, but without Coach Training EDU, without going through this coach training program, I wouldn't be here today. Like, I wouldn't be pursuing writing in the way that I am today. Um, but after going through CTEDU's program, through that program, I fell back in love with writing, and I started a writing business at the time, 5 years ago or more now. And I started writing and editing for other people. And it wasn't until I was editing for someone and they were like, hey, can you teach me? Can you coach me through this? That the light bulb went off. And I was like, I'm Coach Strange. Like, how have I not thought to combine coaching and writing? How have I not thought to do this? And it sort of found me, it was an accidental request that I was like, yeah, I can do that. I'm trained to be a coach, and I'm a writer, and I can put these things together. And boom, there it was. There was this passion that I didn't know was there. And like you said, it was about other people. And once I realized that that's what I wanted to do, the coaching for others to help them see their stories come to life and help them find their voice. That's when the magic really happened, just like you said. And so I think, encouraging coaches and folks who and the clients that those coaches work with to really look at their life and how what are they putting out and what's coming back to them, and how can they use that feedback from the universe to figure out what it is that they really want to be doing.
Yeah. Yeah, it comes in flashes of insight. Like, oh wow, this is what I could be doing. And it can change. That you don't need to get your specialty, like, find the one that you stick with forever at the very beginning. It's okay. It's okay for things to change and test it out. Try out call it a program first. See how that goes. And then, if you really need a website, use your name as a website URL or something, and
Mm-hmm.
then make little programs. It doesn't take much to get started, but once you're up and running and you realize, you will realize very quickly the feedback that you're getting from the people you're speaking with. It will guide you.
Yeah. And I think like that perfectionist, I know I felt that pressure, when I
Yeah.
was first putting all my stuff together, and I've changed my website several times, to match, to ebb and to flow and to adapt to what's going on around me. And so that's okay. That's an important part of this.